Okay, welcome everybody. So can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss matters of personnel? Leah and Maria, all in favor? 7? Okay, so we'll be back around 7 o'clock. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Leah Leone.
Brett Miller.
Maria Venuto.
Ann Markoulis.
Angela Ramo.
Megan Levine.
Maureen Jimenez.
Ryan Martino.
Okay. So first, let's go to the approval of the minutes. Yes, thank you. So the first one is September 3rd. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Megan and Maureen, any questions, comments? All in favor? 7? Okay. Then we have the, what? 20th. Sorry, it's out of order. Okay. Can I get a motion for the minutes for the August 20th meeting? Leah and Brett? Questions or comments? All in favor? 6, and I'm going to abstain. Yes, you were there. Okay. And then we have September 17th. Can I get a motion? Anne and Maureen, all in favor? There were only 4 of us there last time. No, it was me, Anne, Maureen, and Brett. So the 4 of us approve. And 3 abstentions. Okay, and then we have September 26th. Can I get a motion? Anne and Megan, any questions or comments? All in favor? 6 and 1 abstention. Okay, and we're going to make one announcement really quick.
I just want to make one announcement. We are testing the fire alarms today, so I just wanted to let everyone know if they do go off, we are anticipating a test. So it will just be a test, and it won't be the need for an evacuation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Committee reports.
Before the committee reports, we need to do the public hearing for the safety plan.
Yes, thank you very much.
So regarding the district-wide safety plan, as per Commissioner Regulation, Part 155.17, school districts are required to develop district-wide school safety plans in alignment with building-level emergency response plans. A district-wide safety plan is a comprehensive and strategic framework designed to ensure the safety and well-being of students, staff, and visitors to all schools within the district. The plan outlines procedures for preventing, responding to, and recovering from emergencies such as natural disasters and medical emergencies. You may remember that the district posted and the Board of Education approved the district-wide safety plan at the August 20th Board of Education meeting. But in late August, New York State Education Department released new regulations regarding DESH's law, which requires the district-wide safety plan to include information regarding AED equipment, maintenance, signage, and training for cardiac emergency response plans. These new regulations require an additional 30-day comment period. The updated district-wide safety plan will be available on the website starting tomorrow, October 9th, and can be reviewed until November 19th, when it will be adopted by the Board of Education. Any questions or comments can be emailed to the district clerk at ijohnson@glencoveschools.org.
Thank you. Okay.
Now, Audit Committee. Our external auditors, O'Connor Davies, are finalizing the end-of-the-year audit. I'm waiting for confirmation on the date of their presentation for the Board of Education and the public. And the New York State Controller's Office is in the final stages of their field work on the internal controls audit. They expect to be ready to meet with district officials towards the end of the month to discuss their findings.
Thanks. Policy Committee? Does someone want to?
I wasn't there, unfortunately. I was not there. I had open school night at my own school. I wasn't there.
Do your microphone.
I think we reviewed a couple policies. Let me see, do we have policies we're reading tonight?
Yes, we
do.
did review a couple of policies. We were talking about the sexual harassment, that the Board of Education needs to do their training online, that we do have to do within a couple of weeks of the email that was sent to all of us. We also spoke about, oh my gosh, trying to remember.
Well, he was going to get more research. I think we're just looking at some things we're going to end up reviewing at the next meeting, so we don't have anything to read or approve
Right.
tonight. And I believe we've all completed our training at this point, as I recall.
I'm pretty
believe
sure
So we did, yes.
Been completed
So
by all of us.
that's where we're at with,
Yeah, so we'll be meeting next week, I believe, or the following week. We'll be meeting, so yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Education Committee?
The Education Committee last met on September 10th. The next meeting will be on October 15th to discuss new report cards for grades pre-K through 5, including the family guides that will accompany this new resource. In addition, at that time, we will review new assessments being used at the pre-K level to gauge students' progress. So that is to come on October 15th.
Thank you. And back to Teresa for facilities.
In the high school science labs, the contractors are working on the punch list items and installing the remaining casework that was recently delivered. The installation of the exhaust fans for the fume hoods will begin this week. In the kitchen, the tile work will be completed by the end of the week, and the floor tile installation is about 75% complete. Ceiling grids and lighting installation will begin next week, and gas lines will be run for the newly installed kitchen hoods. The kitchen equipment is scheduled to be installed starting on October 20th. Rooftop units are in the final stages of installation. A generator is on site for the operation of the units until the new transformer has been received and installed. Temporary partitions will be installed in the first floor multi-stall bathrooms due to shipping delays on the permanent ones. The removal of the high school and middle school gym floors is complete. There was a delay in starting the replacement flooring due to issues with the concrete under the polyurethane floor that was removed. As the old flooring was removed, some of the concrete flooring underneath was also removed. An additional layer needs to be added to provide a smooth, clean surface prior to laying the new flooring. The estimated completion for the high school auxiliary gym is October 15th. The middle school gym should be completed on October 20th. A new base has been installed in the driveway to the high school to replace the light pole that was damaged. The new light pole is scheduled to be installed next week. And then in the Daisy extension, spackling will be complete by the end of the week, and painting is scheduled to commence next week. Tile was delivered today, and installation will start tomorrow, which should take about 2 weeks. Fixtures will be installed once all the tile work is completed. Rooftop units should be working by the end of next week as well. That is the facilities report.
Thank you. Okay, now let's hear from our student board member.
Good evening, everyone. We are the first full month into school, and it's going pretty smoothly. Michael didn't mention last time, the cafeteria is very nice. Students are loving it. The new furniture is amazing. We have homecoming this Friday with a very well-run Spirit Week going on so far. A lot of kids are doing well, they're enjoying it. The carnival will start at 4, parade at 5, 7 o'clock kickoff. So hopefully we get the win. I would like to thank Dr. Doshner for giving me the opportunity to attend a webinar training for student board members through BOCES. I learned what the role of a student board member is. During the session, I heard from education leaders including Regent Chancellor Lester Young and Betty Rosa, who spoke about the importance of the student voice in decision-making. It was also very cool. There was ex-student board members there, and I gained a stronger understanding of how to serve as an effective representative for students, communicate ideas to the board, and contribute meaningfully to discussions about our district. That's all I got. Thank you, guys.
Okay, great, thank you. And now the superintendent's report.
Thank you. So we will start with our student recognition program of this evening. I just wanted to highlight before we begin and we watch this short video that we are recognizing the Junior Volunteer Program at Glen Cove Hospital. This is the second year that we're doing this program. It's a wonderful partnership with our local hospital, and we love that it's an opportunity for our students who like to focus on science to expand their familiarity with the medical field. So you will hear from some of our students now in this video that was compiled by our district science coordinator, Mrs. Victoria Curtis. She put this together to really show us what the students do and to really hear their voices about their experience. And we'll be honoring the students who are part of this amazing opportunity.
The reason why I wanted to become a nurse is because growing up I lost my grandma, and it really made me feel like I want to help people, seeing all the love and support she got from nurses and friends. So my goal in life is to help people like they helped her, and why I love this experience is because I get to help people every day. So when people are struggling, I know how to put a smile on their face because I've been through similar experiences, and my goal in life is just to make everybody happy and feel loved.
My name is Chelsea Cruz. And we're both Hispanic navigators for the hospital. As a Hispanic navigator, our role is to treat patients in Spanish and help them with anything that they needed, translate for them, and just help their stay be a little more comfortable in the hospital. And when I moved around, I became a nurse practitioner, so this helped me get a better understanding of the medical field and also experience how it's like to work in the medical field. Yeah, since this is me, I want to become a teaching nurse and help children who are sick. And I feel like this is really good to be like a sneak peek of what would like my life would be like, even with my career.
Hey, I'm Benjamin Napolitano. I volunteered with the Northwell Volunteer Program in the emergency department. It was really amazing because I got to see all the nurses and doctors in action. And since I want to go into medicine, it was really great to see how the emergency department functions with my own eyes instead of just hearing it secondhand. It was invaluable, and I loved every moment of it.
Hi, my name is Linda, and I also volunteer for the hospital. My role in the hospital is being a Spanish navigator, and that's where I help Spanish patients. Well, I basically just help them like understand like how they're feeling and try to communicate themselves, because a lot of doctors who speak English, so I would ask them like how their day was and like how's it going to try to like make them feel more comfortable within an environment that's kind of scary because like you're at a hospital. So I decided that I wanted to volunteer at Northwell because I do want to get into the medical field. I want to be a surgeon. So I feel like young experience, like early on experience, would definitely help me. Like I was in the hospital days, like familiar with the hospital setting.
So at this time, I'll ask Mrs. Curtis to come up with me, and we will honor our student volunteers. Thank you. Stand right here. No, we're going to take a photo. I'm going to make you. Chelsea Cruz is our second volunteer. Please come up. Our next volunteer is Yosiri Espinoza. Nelson Flores. Gianna Gonzalez. It's going to take her a little time. She's videoing us, so thank you. Sophia Gonzalez. Same goes for Sophia. Nazareth Lopez. Mia Lipinski. Benjamin Napolitano. Victoria Rivera Ortega. And Sienna Scagliola.
Yeah. Last year, I think last year, or the year before, was crazy. I know, we tried.
Okay. Thank you so much for all the students and the families for coming tonight. We are so very proud of you. You really make our job so amazing to see you flourish in your interests and just continue to grow. Thank you. So on our next point of pride that I'd like to highlight is incredible news that we were featured on the season opener of Spotlight on Long Island. So this is a radio show that's been running for 9 seasons. And this year our district was on its first episode of the year. And here we kind of took a sneaky photo of the screen because we all met on Teams. So you can see Mrs. Curtis, you can see Bob Vecchio, who is the podcaster for this radio show. You can see Casey Miller, one of our students, Benjamin Napolitano, Carrie Bunyan, who is our chemistry teacher, who was on. And then in this little photo, you see some of us here. You see board members Angela Ramo, Ann Markoulis, Teresa Cahan, Assistant Soup of Business, Dan Novak, Facilities Director. Mr. Clements was there, science teacher, physics and chemistry. And you see one of our recent graduates, Ethan Ariagata. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Hudson, principal and also alumni of the school. So we were so excited to really share with all of Long Island the incredible accomplishment that the community has had because we were able to pass a bond with community support from all of you. And that community support allowed us to renovate every single lab in the science wing. So now we have state-of-the-art laboratories that we've shared photos, and our students that are sitting here can attest to how amazing they are. And we shared that, but we also shared about our program. So we have a science research program that we partner with Cold Spring Harbor, and then we also have our Northwell volunteer program as well. So very proud of being there. It brought tears to our eyes. I don't know if any board members want to make comments during board comments, but it was an incredible experience, so I wanted to share. Continuing on with some amazing news, we have Glen Cove High School was recognized as one of the best high schools in the nation for 2025-2026. We were ranked among the top 40% of nearly 18,000 public high schools, and the same honor was given to the middle school last year, and that honor was placed them among the top 40%. So I just wanted to share that because we just recently got word of this and wanted to make sure that the community was aware. We will be purchasing a large banner to make sure that everyone's aware of the accomplishment that we have, so we wanted to share that with everyone. We had open school at the high school and the middle school. You can see some photos here. We had students, we had families, we had student volunteers. Teachers were very eager to talk about their curriculum for the year and really share with everyone the excitement for what's to come for this school year. So I wanted to just highlight that. It's wonderful to have been at each of the open school nights to really see from our youngest learners and the parents there to our oldest learners at the high school. All right, so next I want to address the questions and the comments that were made at the last Board of Education public comments part of the meeting. So we were asked about mentioning positive and negative or negative comments, and specifically positive comments. So we got even more clarification than we've already provided. And what it says here is the New York State School Boards Association recommends not allowing public comments that name specific individuals, whether positive or negative. And the reason for that is we want to protect everyone and keep things fair. If we allowed for positive comments but not negative ones, it could be considered a viewpoint discrimination, and that could open the door for personal criticism at public meetings. So that's the definitive answer from NYSSBA about why you prohibit comments about specific individuals at public comment. So again, just to summarize, not allowing comments that name specific people helps to keep things fair and consistent and helps protect everyone, including individuals and the district. And another question that was addressed, when will the gymnasiums, when will we share a schedule for environmental testing that we want to continue doing for the gymnasiums as soon as they're finished? And you heard from Ms. Cahan today about the timeline. We will be working with our environmental consultant company, J.C. Broderick, to determine a schedule for testing going forward, something that makes sense and that the Board of Education is comfortable with. And once we have that, we will share that with the community. All right, so at this time, I'm going to go to the podium and then go through our district goals. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Okay, so for our district goals, we, as a Board of Education, we looked at what it means to develop goals. So we looked at this analogy about big rocks. So if you think of a jar as your jar of life, if you fill it with sand, you don't have any more space for big rocks. So what you want to do is start with the big rocks, then add the small pebbles, and finally you can add the sand in it. That way, your jar of life will fit everything that is important to you, the big rocks, the not so important things, the small pebbles, and the really small things, which is the sand. So what are our big rocks as a district is what we questioned. So thinking about our big rocks, we really need to think about our why. So organizations always think about what is the why that centers the activity and the need for that organization. So our why as a school district always has to be students. Why we do it is for the students. We do it for them. How we do it with help from our staff, all our staff district-wide. And what we do, we educate. So we're educating, whether it be academic or social-emotional learning education. We educate students so that they become thriving and contributing citizens in this world. So in order to develop our big pillars, we looked at the focus areas, the 5 focus areas that Mr. Klatsky developed during the leadership retreat. That was our 3rd annual leadership retreat with the administrative team. So our leadership focus areas are integrating strategies for literacy across content areas. That makes sense because before you can learn anything else, you need to learn how to read and read really well to pull meaning from text across subject areas. Next is building culturally affirming environments for our diverse learners. We want to make sure that everyone that walks into our buildings feels welcomed and supported. And number 3 is addressing chronic absenteeism with attention to subgroups. So specifically after COVID, districts across the nation have seen an increase in chronic absenteeism, and we need to make sure that as a school district, we are paying attention to this and trying to help students and families as we address chronic absenteeism. And we want to make sure that there's particular attention to our subgroups so that we, again, are very understanding of any student and any diverse need that they may present to us. The 4th focus area is using assessment data to inform instruction. As you've heard me present before, when I was Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, assessment and data are vital to instruction. We need to assess our students, whether it be data assessments or anecdotal assessments, to really understand where they are and where they need to go. And finally, increasing student discourse and conversation. We want to make sure our students can really speak freely. As you saw in the video before, it is incredible to have our students be that confident to speak in a video that they know will be presented to the community. And that's no small task. So we want to make sure they get that practice, because the better communicators they are, the better they will be at anything they do in their life. So our district pillars. So pillars provide a coherent, a strong foundation for our practice, programs, and processes, and they define our priorities for the future. They are basically what we will anchor ourselves to. So our district pillars start with Goal 1 for curriculum and instruction, which is instructional excellence. We have 3 goals under instructional excellence, which you'll hear similarities that are coming from the focus areas. Integrating strategies for literacy across content areas. The 2nd goal is using assessment data to inform instruction. The 3rd goal, increasing student discourse and conversation. So all of those 3 come from the focus areas, and they pertain to making sure we are attending to instructional excellence for all our students. Continuing on with Goal 1, curriculum, we go to belonging and wellness. The first goal you'll recognize from our instructional focus, building culturally affirming environments for our diverse learners and educators. Goal 2, though, branches beyond students to make sure that we also support our staff's well-being. This is definitely a priority for us, and we want to make sure our staff feel supported so that they can provide the best education, and not just teachers, but all of our staff, so the best supports for our students. Our 3rd goal is also from the instructional focus, addressing chronic absenteeism with attention to subgroups. Again, we want to make sure students feel that they belong and that they have a sense of wellness as they walk into our buildings, and that needs to be as we address chronic absenteeism. Goal 2 is business and finance for transparency and accountability purposes. If you have been reading our goals, you will see that this is a copy of the goals that we've been using for the past few years, because a lot of our work in business and finance really carries year to year. So first of all, foremost is the fiscally responsible budget that needs to be passed every year, and that's going to happen in the spring of 2026 for the 2026-2027 school year. We want to be mindful of the community, accountable in all areas of spending, and meeting the needs of all of our students. No easy task for Ms. Cahan. Goal number 2, maintaining reserves for use during the budget process to offset expenses, avoid elimination of programs and staff, as well as working towards enhancements of spaces. So that's, the reserves is what we term our savings accounts. So districts must make sure to have robust reserves so that if there is an uncertain budget season and we do not get the federal or the state aid that we are planning on, we can use our reserves for projects that were intended when we created those reserves. Goal number 3, we want to continue to explore and advocate for additional funding streams to include grant writing, state aid, foundation aid support, and also cultivating donors. Goal 3 is under business and finance once again, but this one has to do with health and safety. So we have 3 goals here: review the list of projects currently under consideration and prioritize capital projects that are essential, repairs that are still needed to ensure a safe and productive learning environment. The second goal is to explore and consider a phase 2 project for our energy performance. We had a phase 1 for our energy performance contract projects, and that we had a presentation on that at the end of last year, where we heard about the solar panels, the installation of LED light bulbs, and the installation of switches that turn off devices that are not needed in the evening. And then the phase 2 would be, what else can we do to increase our energy performance and save money in that respect? Goal 3, we want to update our 5-year plan to meet the needs of district facilities so that we have a schedule that is maintainable. So as facilities need repair or maintenance, we are meeting those needs. Our 4th goal is our human resources goal, and that's communication and recruiting. So again, we have 3 goals here, and they are carried over from last year. We want to implement the utilization of Frontline Central to provide a central hub for key personnel documents. So this is a way that districts have moved into the future, and we're relying less on paper and more on the Frontline platform to make sure that we have our day-to-day forms and our compliance practices in place. The second goal is to review and update staff handbooks to provide all personnel with key information outlining district policies and practices. And the third goal is to construct additional hiring resources to further support committee stakeholders in evaluating the most qualified candidates. So Ms. Cahan and Mr. DiNapoli attended a hiring fair recently in Nassau County. We have held local hiring fairs here as well, as we look to make sure we're hiring the best candidates for our positions. The 5th goal and our final goal is engagement and partnership. And here we want to make sure that there's communication as well as community engagement. So we have 3 goals, and the first one is promoting community partnership. And then just want to say that I'm very proud of the next 2 goals. We developed that in conjunction with the Board of Education. We had a work session where we really looked at what does Glen Cove need, what does Glen Cove School District need. So the second goal is engaging early childhood centers to connect pre-K families with the district. The Board of Education felt strongly that that is the first place that families have access to our district, so we want to make sure that first impression goes a long way. And families, and I'll speak as personally as a pre-K parent of many years ago, when you are starting that process, it's daunting. You don't really know what you're getting into and what it's really going to feel like, because up until that time, your child hasn't been in school regularly. And this third goal here is creating a parent center. So this is a very aspirational goal. We would like to create a physical space in the future for a parent center, but this year we're going to focus on online resources that we can provide for families so that we can explore how to expand that online website to provide the resources into a real space for families. So that is our engagement and partnership goal. And finally, I just want to point everyone to our Portrait of a Learner. So New York State is designing the portrait of a graduate, and they have come up with competencies that students need to meet as they become graduates of a high school across the state. And Mr. Klatsky and Mrs. Poulos led this work with stakeholders, including parents, teachers, and administrators, to create what we have as the Portrait of a Learner. This was done last year, so our graduates should be able to self-advocate, they should be critical thinkers, versatile learners, engaged citizens, and collaborative communicators. So as we designed our goals, we also looked at this and made sure that we were in alignment with all of that. Any questions?
Any questions, guys? Thank you for all your hard work on that.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. And I'm so proud of the kids who volunteer. I think that's great. And I know volunteering at the hospital was hugely impactful on me when I was a student, so I can only imagine what great experiences they're having. Okay, so let's move on to our first public participation. Each speaker has 3 minutes. Ms. Johnson has the timer. This is agenda items only. Please sign in. Please be respectful, and please don't name any individuals.
Janet Blatt, McGrady Street, Glen Cove. I've said it before, I'll say it again, it may be said a little differently, but basically the same message. You seem to find many different ways to silence the people of the school community of the city of Glen Cove. And one of those ways is not allowing people to get up and say something positive about teachers or any other staff in regard to students without mentioning the students' names. If you can't mention the teachers' names, you might as well not be complimenting them. To say that you can't say positive things because people might say negative things just silences everybody. You are not teaching through example democracy and how democracy functions when you silence anybody who might come here to say something about a staff member. Some teachers, limiting just to teachers right now, but it could be anybody. Some teachers are terrific for 90% or 99% of the children in their room. But there might be one student, and the teacher doesn't mean to be not getting through to that kid, but isn't. And somebody may come to say something. And they should be heard in this public setting. By not allowing it to be said in the public setting, you are keeping it quiet and you hope it goes away. Yes, somebody may go to talk to the teacher and they may eventually wind up talking to the superintendent or the assistant in charge of, superintendent in charge of curriculum, but that keeps it secret too. If you think it's secret, you're missing the point because it's out there online in the community chat rooms. It's out there in the community without using the internet at all. And believe me, it's out there. If I'm hearing it, and I'm almost no place these days, it's out there. So if you think you're keeping it quiet, you're mistaken. It's a mistake not to have it here. First of all, people should be allowed to be complimented. And along with that comes, well, you can't speak because you want to say something negative. Let people speak. Hear what has to be said. And make changes if changes could be made. Just do it. Consider allowing the students of this district to see democracy in action rather than dictatorship in action.
Thank you. Mentioning individuals has never been something that the board has allowed. Thank you. Mentioning individuals has never been something the board has allowed as long as I've been on the board. Thank you. Any other comment? Okay. I guess we'll move on to instructional report.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 7 on the instructional report. A, Committee on Special Education. B, Committee on Preschool Special Education. And C, Adoption of District Goals 2025-2026.
Can I get a motion? Maureen and Megan. Any questions or comments? All in favor? 7. Business affairs.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 8B, Operation Number 1 through 12.
Can I get a motion? Anne and Leah, any questions or comments? All in favor? 7. And I'd like to thank the Education Foundation for their donation of a laser light show to the Stream Night, which will now be happening in the spring. And thank you to Starbucks for the donation of a fridge.
So fridge and freezer,
And freezer, thank you.
2 separate.
I thought it was one. Okay, personnel.
Based on my recommendation, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 9, Personnel, A, Certified, 1 through 12.
Can I get a motion? Brett and Megan, any questions or comments? All in favor? 7.
Based on my recommendation, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 9, Personnel, B, Classified, 1 through 6.
Can I get a motion? Maria and Leah, any questions or comments? All in favor? 7. Okay.
I just wanted to highlight that we just approved a new administrator, and she's here in the audience. If you will please stand up, Ms. Taylor Plotke. She is our new Social Studies Chairperson. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, any other unfinished business? No new business, any board comments? Okay, well, I have one quick thing. I participated in the Board Officers Academy, it was done by NYSBA, and facilitated by Mark Snyder. And he said a couple of things that I thought were very interesting. That the process that we're currently doing for public participation is what they actually recommended to all of the board officers to answer the questions at a subsequent meeting. So, I mean, we had talked about it, but it was the first I heard it told statewide. So I thought that was very interesting. And that, sorry, I thought there was more thing that I wanted to mention. That they recommended the student board members be invited to policy committee meetings, because that's probably when they'll have the greatest input for us. So I know it's even more of a time commitment, but that would be something that we should consider, at least extending the date to you, so you know when it is. I guess that was it. It was a good meeting, very interesting. Anybody have anything else to say? No? Okay. Now we'll have our second public participation.
Janet Blattler, Grady Street. This is a comment on the ribbon cutting at Landing School. It's not that it surprised me that there were very few people there, but there were very few people there. There may have been 2 other people, 3 other people who were not school district related or not city government related besides me. 2 things. One is, it's a ribbon cutting for a school that would not exist if we didn't have children in the city of Glen Cove who needed to be educated. And it just stood out that there was not one child there. I don't know if because it was after school, no one from the district attempted to get some children, even a few children, representative of the classes that are now in that new spectacular part of the building, would have been nice. So that when you have the ribbon cutting for Daisy's school extension, I hope that you get some children there. There are all kinds of things that you can do, including having it during the school day and having whatever grades are in those new rooms at Daisy to be there. I mean, considering the fact that at 4:30, nobody from the community basically is showing up, have it during the day. It would be a good thing. It would say something, because none of you would exist in the positions you're in if it weren't for the fact that we have children that need to, by law, be in schools. The public schools need to be open. The other thing that I wanted to say is that neither the former superintendent nor the assistant superintendent in charge of business and finances were there because they were not invited. It is nasty not to invite people who were prominently in place and without whom this district would not have all the things that our $30 million bond allowed us to have. So it would be nice if you had invited them, but you didn't.
Thank you. No one was not invited. Everyone was invited. Okay, can I get a motion? Oh, we actually need to go back into executive session to discuss the finance? Matters of personnel. Okay, can I get a motion? Anne and Maria. All in favor? 7. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, GCTV. And then we'll come back in and